so prepare yours, is how difficult is or how easy or what are the tips and tricks to establish a very powerful connection between the public sector, let's say, schools, ministries, and the organizations that are doing built environment education. How difficult it was actually for you, Dorota, to establish this constellation and to bring in schools, to train teachers of different backgrounds to go to schools. How difficult it was for you, or how easy, I don't know, Roberta, to do the same thing and to establish this whole network, that it's a fantastic one. And Krisztina, for you the question is how it was for Hungary how it was people able to put things in the curriculum in Hungary. And for you, Carolina, the question is how difficult it was to make ANDA. So I would start from Roberta, because she was the first.
So for me, I presented to you a situation that was built in 80s. So a lot of things now are like constructed, established, and it's easy to move inside a structure that is already there. But I think the difficulty each year and passing the years is to establish these collaborations, because when people change in the organization, in the institutions, the work needs to be redone. And so I spend a lot of time in meeting people and consolidate all the relationships. So it's a network work. But in France, we know each other really well, and so the structures are historical structures. People, organization people are there since a lot of time. So, for example, in the Maison de l'Architecture of Grenoble, I succeed someone who were there since 2000, yeah, she was there 20 years. So she built a lot of things, and then I arrived, and I have to present myself, but a lot of work was already there. So I think that Dorota is different for you, and I pass.
Well, from what you were saying, I heard you said meeting people, and that's something that's to me the most crucial thing. In my experience, and I think Kasia's experience, she's not first, but she will come back in a second. But to do anything, you need to go outside the box. You need to go and talk to people. Go and talk about what you're thinking, what's great, what would you like to do, and then you start finding people who you find they think similar. And this going outside the box means going outside the box locally, just around yourself, at the place of your work, and then outside, and then further, and when you meet here and talk to people, and you meet people who think in a similar way. This is, I think, to me, the only and the most important thing that has to happen for other elements of this process of doing any sort of initiative possible. But the difficulty is that I have to say, it will be a little bit poetical, but I must say it is a kind of a miracle sometimes that some coincidences happen. And as I said before, some people meet to us because, for example, in Poland, the built environment education doesn't exist in Poland for only last couple of years. It existed for like few decades, good few decades, 3 decades or something like that. There were people from Poland who participated in workshops by International Union of Architects. But they got tired. They were, they were doing a lot. There's a whole story. By the way, I wrote with colleague co-authors 2 books in Polish, unfortunately, about the story of evolution of how it happened in Poland and when it has started and so on and so forth. But all the initiatives were, of course, too small for the size of our country, for the amount of people, but and they very often still are very dispersed. So the thing that helped a lot was the appearance of something like a platform for, again, meeting other people who are partisans of activities like that. And that platform, I have to say, was the National Institute of Architecture and Urban Planning. That was created in 2018 and gathered by organizing first Congress on Built Environment Education, gathered a group of people who very often, some of them knew each other, some of them completely, I met all of them. I was writing a book on built environment those days, and I was very happy that I managed to get there. But the meeting, again, that's why I'm kind of now doing a loop to the first phrase that I was saying. Meeting people is something that's necessary to do anything.
Your question, Mina, was about the curriculum.
Yes.
I think we have a nice background going back to socialist time, which is in music. Kodály and Bartók thought that music is very important for children. And I think that was a kind of model technique that yes, for children, for young adults, it is important to have a kind of cultural link to our or folk culture, but also to understand the logic of a certain art. So that was as a possibility to say that it's important and to be more concrete. So we had a lot of different pedagogical programs, and when the new national pedagogical program was put together, there was a 3 months period that we could evaluate, and everyone could evaluate. It was a kind of participatory project. So all those who were involved in built environment education, we decided to do it separately. So we wrote long letters how it would be changed. And on a theoretical level, it happened. So we are proud of that, and there are pedagogical background. We have 2 problems. I am amazed to see networks. We have problems with networks. We have more creative individuals and groups who are enthusiasts. We are fighting next to each other, and we have a lack of putting things together. So this is one thing, and we are very much centralized around Budapest, and the 2 things for me was amazing, how it should be spread. And the other thing that now reality, the basics are there, but in practice, in reality, it's not happening enough. So there is the possibility, but on another level, on the practical level, we have a lot of obstacles. So that's the 2 things.
The question for Carolina was how you create ANDA, how you gather all these, so many countries with so many ideas.
Well, now, sorry, I'm very juggled now today. I answer in Spanish, and she helped me. Yes, okay. Ha sido muy difícil. Quickly, okay, quickly.
That's yours.
Okay, thank you. Because
Yes.
No, not a problem. Ha sido muy difícil armar un grupo de tantos países. It was so difficult to coordinate a group of so many countries. Yeah. Cuando vine la primera vez a este grupo de la UIA, del World Program Architecture and Children, when I came from the first time in this group of UIA,
Vi que éramos muy pocos de América.
We were so few people from America.
Y yo pensé que había mucho trabajo en América porque hay mucha necesidad del trabajo de arquitectura con niños en nuestras realidades.
And I thought that in America there were so much thing to do with children about built environment education.
Yeah. Entonces investigué y busqué por internet y encontré a muchos amigos y muchos colegas haciendo este trabajo.
I searched in internet and I found a lot of people, a lot of friends that were involved in this work.
Los contacté e hicimos ANDA.
I contact them, I meet them, and we did ANDA.
Debo decir que solo una vez nos hemos reunido. ANDA ya tiene 10 años de existir.
We meet only one time.
Yes, only one time present. Yes.
In presence, and ANDA existed since 10 years.
Yeah. Y seguimos trabajando fuertemente y cada día se unen más grupos.
But we still work, and a lot of new people join the group.
Ahora, el problema es que no tenemos todos el apoyo de nuestros colegios de arquitectos.
Yes, the problem is that not each country had the sustained support of the Council of Architects.
That is, but we pero continuamos trabajando fuerte.
But we still work hard.
Yes.
Întrebări din public. Vreau.
I was a bit entranced with this. Architects being transmitters of knowledge in the built environment, and I wanted to ask you what would be like the key principles from your experience and from your vast research and knowledge about what would make a good transmitter. Like what principles should it have to follow? Or, I don't know, like what is like the key aspects that make a good transmitter? Thank you so much.
Yes, but for me, there are two things that are really important when we are working with children especially, is to listen what they are talking about and to adapt ourselves to the situation. Because many times we prepare a lot. We prepare the intervention, we prepare the workshop, and then we arrived in a class and we see that what we prepared is not adapted to this situation. And so I think that what is important is for us to be in our position of architect, but also to listen to them and to have pleasure to share a great moment together. So if what we prepared is not so good for them, but we change the activity, is not a problem. The main thing is to pass a good moment all together and to talk about their surroundings, their experience of space. And I say that because we often do this kind of activities in territories that are really different. We can do it in the center, in the city center, for example, or in periphery, or in the suburban areas, or in the rural areas, and the kind of relationship between children and their environment is really different, also because of social, economics, and cultural possibilities of the children. So I think that the first thing is to take a great pleasure of these moments, and also to always be curious and to learn with them.
I would like just to enhance the idea that communication is not only telling but listening, and sometimes it's really difficult nowadays. We are more a telling culture than a listening culture, and this adaptation and listening, in my experience, is also key, and to quickly understand the feedback we are having from our teachers or students, and to adapt our ideas to what they are really interested in and what their problems or ideas are.
If I would add something, I must say, in my opinion, you should be kind of adaptive in a way, not by listening, learning, talking, discussing with with the groups that you are working with, but adaptive also to all conditions that are happening around us, because world is changing so quickly these days that we cannot stop at certain level of or methods, methodology and content of stuff that we are trying to transmit. But we need to also learn ourselves and be and observe world around us. So I think that's it. Maybe not that's it, but this I would recommend that. It's not that easy, unfortunately.
Trabajar con niños es maravilloso. Los niños son transparentes y honestos.
Working with children is fantastic, and children are transparent
and honest, yes. Curiosos, divertidos.
Yes.
A mí no sé por qué a nosotros los adultos llega un momento en que te dicen ya eres adulto y tienes que ser serio y no reírte y divertirte y jugar. No sé cuándo llega ese momento. A mí no me ha llegado, por suerte.
I don't know when we became adults and we are not we are forbidden to smile, to be amusing or amused, but I don't experience it.
Yes. Sigo jugando, sigo riendo con ellos, aprendiendo. Los niños son tan sinceros, si no les gusta, se paran y se van. Y yo creo que aprendo con ellos. Además son personas de a pie, perdón, son personas de a pie, pero haz un resumen.
Sí, pero es difícil.
Okay, yes.
So I continue to play with them, to amuse myself with them,
Yeah.
and then yes, what we say, if they don't amuse themselves, they go out. So and then continue. Yeah.
Ellos son usuarios de la ciudad o usuarios del espacio de a pie. Ellos no tienen auto y tienen otros ángulos de la vida en comunidad.
Sí. They use the city, they use the space, and they had other kind of
view,
and of utilization of use also the city and the space than adults.
That is.
Unfortunately, we are a bit behind the schedule, but the good news is that we will have a break. And I